Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay, so this is the home screen to the application. So from here we can just log in. It is a web application, so it can be installed to be accessible anywhere over the internet, or it can be installed on a local network. When we first log in, this is the item master list of the system. So here you can see, all of the different stock items that have been defined, descriptions, categories, basic stocking levels, things like that. On the left side here, anywhere you see an edit, a little pencil icon, that means you can edit that record. So I'll just select the random one real quick. So you can see here we can change any attributes of this item number, description, category, anything like that. We have about 100 different customizable fields here, so there's a lot of different options when using the system. We'll just jump back to the list. Additionally, right from the screen, you can print out labels as well. And this is just a standard 2x1 label from our default system. Moving across, with the system and the multiple warehouses, if you click on any of these different blue links here, you'll get the warehouse mappings. So this is where you can turn on a part for different warehouses, and you can restrict parts from being available in all warehouses. And I can demonstrate that real quick at the top here. Change the warehouse option. It will show different lists of parts that are available in each different warehouse.
Is there any limit on the number of warehouses?
Didn't quite catch that. There's a lot of feedback from your microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't get very well. Get that one we can understand. Yeah.
Yeah, we're here, but I can barely.
Let me try to repeat
There's a
what
lot
I
of
said.
feedback.
Is there any restriction on the number of warehouses?
No, there's not. You can have as many warehouses in the system as you would like. It does slow down the system once you go past, I'd say, about 1,000. But most clients never get to that point. So.
Yeah. Okay. And this is an add-on application to the okay. But it's a supported add-on to it, right? Did you get my question?
No, it's the connection's very bad. I'm catching every other word at this point.
Oh wow, yeah. No, where are we talking to? The mic is up there.
You want to hear it?
Well, you can adjust the mic. Maybe if you adjust the volume.
It's already high.
Hmm?
It's already high.
No, it's too high. That's why you need to make it low.
That too much feedback.
Yeah, it's too much feedback. That's what he's saying. You don't want to mute it.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much we could do on this end.
She was sending to her phone and off her phone. Did it? Huh?
I'm sure.
Yeah. We'll try to call you in from another phone.
No, she can connect
Okay.
them. So we connected.
Okay.
Then she can just, I can just mute this and then the opposite phone.
We should have it now.
So what is work?
We should have it now.
This Arana are just
Well,
we park at Peachtree.
we need to ask them because when we go to Peachtree, we want to know if we get this.
No, this is a web application.
Huh?
It's a web application. It works through an internet browser.
So how we might link to the Peachtree? How all the numbers and the things will link?
Yes, you can figure it out.
We're getting through. You calling us, okay?
No, she
What do
does.
you do? Yeah, Thursday. You did.
Muted. Unmuted.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, Zach, can you hear me now?
Oh, that's much better. You may need to adjust the volume on the web app.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was asking.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
little bit of feedback.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking. This is an add-on application to Sage 50. It's a supported add-on, and if it's supported, is it supported by Sage or by the developer?
So this is our Inventory Pro online system. So with this system, basically, it's a full inventory management system. You know, one of the benefits of our system is we allow for fine-grained tracking of stock and locations, you know, things like that. And then what we do with our information in our system is we copy it over to the Sage 50 application, and we interface with the application to post different transactions, you know, across there. So you can see here, for example, a little bit of the fine-grained tracking of you know, serial numbers, exact receive times, things like that, multiple locations.
Yeah. Now, this being a web application, kind of walk me through it, what we would normally see when we sign into Sage. Would we have to sign into Sage and then execute a sign-in for this add-on, or it's going to be sort of an automatic integration?
So essentially, we normally run it as an automatic integration on a server somewhere. So here you can see I just pulled up the Sage interface application here, and I also have the full Sage application on the right here. And you can see that this is an empty system. There's no vendors or anything in here. So we'll run the import methods in just a second here and load some data into this. You can do a manual import when you initially set up the system. However, most of the time it'll be running on an automatic import. Let me just...
Okay. So, all right. So then we'll on this end we'll have Sage running, and on the web there will be the add-on application running, and when we log on, there's going to be an automatic integration, as long as there is an internet connection.
Yes. So here
Okay.
you can see I just ran a bunch of transactions through. And now if we pop over into the Sage application, we should have a number of customers loaded up. Essentially, the way this system works is it watches Inventory Pro online for transactions. It checks every 2 minutes, and when it sees transactions occurring, you know, new stock items being created, you know, new purchase orders or sales orders, at that point it will process that transaction and bring it into Sage 50.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask another question. If there were to be a break in internet connection during a process in which the integration is taking place, is there some sort of an error fault protection that's built in? In other words, we wouldn't have data being corrupted, because as you can appreciate, we're not in the US, and so and we're in Belize, and we're in the south of Belize, so we do have incidents where our internet connection, whilst it's reliable to a certain extent, we do have situations where it does fall. And if that happens, in the middle of an integration process or some update, is there a protection that we would not have data corruption?
So essentially the way the interface works is it will connect to the database server and pull down transactions. And the way it works is it will pull down transactions before trying to run anything. So it'll pull down the list of what it needs to process, and then it will run the integration through. So if it times out, if it loses connection, it should just sit here and get a little frustrated and throw some error messages in the log, but it shouldn't break anything at that time. Now that said, I haven't tested that. Generally when we run this, we'll run it, with our self-hosted licensing option, where you'll buy a full license of the software, and both the web application and the Sage system are running on that machine. A number of years ago, we did run one of those instances where it went across the internet every time to pull up the information. So it is something we've done before. I just need to run some tests through to make sure it's 100%, since we haven't used that in a while.
Well, so there's an option for us to buy a self-hosted application.
Yes, there's a few licensing options we have. One is a monthly option on our servers, and I forget off the top of my head how much that is. And then another is a version where you'll buy a full license for however many users you need, and you can use that to install it on your server and run it on your internal network.
Oh, okay. I like that option better. So I think we've received quotations for that already. So yeah, I think I'd like that better, because then it means that both applications would be self-hosted here, and I think it'd be a better situation for us
Than on the web and dependent on the internet.
Yeah. Now we do have multiple warehouses that are within some distance apart. So inevitably there would have to be some sort of internet connection in order for, say, a warehouse that's situated 50 miles from our base, from our headquarters, to be online real time. Even though we're self-hosting our Sage and we're self-hosting the add-on program, it's inevitable that 1, 2, or 3 of our warehouses are going to be a few hundred miles away. With internet connection, these warehouses do transactions similar to what we'd be doing at headquarters. In other words, they'd be selling and issuing documents. Is this going to be done real time with the add-on program so that they would see an update of inventory quantities as they are being depleted or added on?
So if you can access the server, everything that happens on the server is real time. So whatever inventory number is on the screen right now, that's how much we have in stock. So pretty much as soon as a transaction posts, it'll be visible here. And if they don't have an internet connection, they won't be able to post back against the transactions, unfortunately. So that could be an issue. We do have a mobile software which does allow for some batching of transactions. However, it's not fully featured. It doesn't have all the full capability built into it.
So in essence, this add-on program is going to replace the existing inventory portion of Sage.
Right.
Yeah.
Am I correct? So and this inventory add-on program will allow us the same options that we do have with Sage in terms of managing inventory and reporting requirements and that sort of thing. There's not, in other words, we're not going to see that we're not going to have certain reports that we currently have right now.
You should have all of the current reports, as well as a variety of reports in Inventory Pro as well. So I believe we have around, I think like 200 something different reports in the system by default. And we have additional ones that aren't turned on. in the base system. So you can see here,
Yeah, go
here's
ahead.
a few different ones, as I just bounced through the system. So,
Right.
this may be something you need to log into the dev system to review. If there's any reports that you
Right.
see that you would like to have, we can add in additional ones as well.
Yeah. Another question, it means then that this add-on application will also have the interface to the GL on Sage. So similar to what we have right now, where we have our GL accounts inputted into the inventory file so that there are automatic updates to the GL. The same thing we can expect with this add-on program.
Right.
Yes, we may need to do an import from your existing system to set that up, but we do have, it might not be on this test site, but we do have a few different GL accounts fields, and let me see if I can just find that for you. It's like 90-something fields here, so.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So, Mr. Amar, if I understand what Judy said, our purchase receipt will happen through the add-on, not through Sage?
yeah, through the add-on. In other words, it
So
seems
it's
like this
replace it.
add-on program is now going to replace Sage, right?
That part of it.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Make sure we have,
How we tie it in with the payables?
yeah, it's going to be interfaced with the GL and the payables. That's a good question. So it's going to have the interface seamlessly with Sage GL and Sage accounts payable, right?
Yes, so we post back against the various accounts whenever we generate transactions. So, for example, on shipping orders and purchase orders, we post back against the, the appropriate files when we generate them in Sage here. So
Great.
essentially, yes, we do interface with the different accounts, and we do allow you to specify custom account mappings for different part numbers, stuff like that, as well.
So that means
Go ahead.
our present inventory that we have in Sage will no longer be in Sage, but in the
Yes, that's
the
correct.
add-on.
Yeah.
Yes. In this system, when we run this interface, we treat Inventory Pro as the master database that contains, all of the accurate counts, all of the, actual data, and then Sage 50 acts as the accounting program to, handle the accounts payables and that sort of thing.
For the other warehouse that we will add on, will we have to use different GL accounts, or it will be one GL account, or we'll have several GL accounts depending on the number of warehouses?
Right, that's up to you. Right, Seth?
Okay, good.
I don't think. I think we always post back against the same accounts currently, as far as like the purchase orders and sales orders go. But we could customize it to set up different account mappings for each warehouse.
Okay. I think I'd asked this question earlier. Wasn't sure if it was answered, but since it's an add-on to Sage, in the event of maintenance and support, will it be supported by Sage or by the developers of the program?
Any issues with the software, you'll be contacting us to go through support
Okay.
in terms of Inventory Pro and such.
Okay. Let's see if there's anything else we need.
Yeah.
And do we have an opportunity to toy around with the software and see?
Yes, there's a public demo site. The demo site does not include the interface into the Sage program, but you can use the online application and learn how that works and play around with it a little bit.
Right. Okay.
And Ben can register you for that and set you up demo accounts there.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Anybody has any other question on what? Any concerns? Okay.
Can I ask you? Do you plan on using barcoding at all?
No, we're not planning on using barcode.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, but the feature is good. The feature is good. We may at some point get into the retail business and really start using that. But for now, we're not planning on doing so.
Okay. So about how many warehouses do you have, or do you anticipate having?
Right now, we'll be looking at 4.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we'll be looking at 4. So it's not certainly not going to be 1,000. So we're certainly below that threshold. But yeah, we may add on a few more.
So how many of them do you have trouble with the internet at? Is it just one, or?
Well, we don't. I wouldn't say we have problems with the internet because we do have communication, but there are times when the internet does fall, and it even affects us at the main office, you know. So we certainly would prefer to self-host everything here.
Right.
But I would say the internet is fairly reliable. It's just that it does fall from time to time, and that's something we've gotten used to, and hasn't really affected us to the point where we can't work. But I was concerned that maybe there might be data corruption if there was something going on, a transaction or a process happening, and we have that, you know.
No, the SQL Server and the application take care of all of that. So, but yeah, you're right. I mean, if you hosted the application in your main office, then you'd never have a problem.
Yeah.
And it would just be sites that drop off would lose functionality until the internet came back.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I mean,
Well,
is there any chance you can do like a cellular backup? You know, in the States, people do that a lot. They'll turn on a hotspot using cellular and use that as a backup if their internet connection goes down.
Yeah.
Because you can, like Zach was saying, with the mobile application, if your internet goes down in your warehouse and you have a smartphone, a cell phone, you can still run the application on a cell phone.
Yeah. The only problem is that I think the bandwidth that is available to cell phones might be a little too slow. Perhaps you could.
No, it wouldn't work, but just
Yeah, it doesn't take much bandwidth. Zach's bringing it up right now. So this is the application, how it looks on a cell phone. And if the functions are simple enough, it may be all they ever need really is to use a tablet or a smartphone. So this would be your backup if your internet connection did go down. You could just keep working on a cell phone.
Does it consume a lot of data though?
No, not really.
Oh.
No, that's actually one of the limitations of running in the mobile web browser is you have no data space to use. So the maximum space we're allowed to use on most phones is about 5 to 10 megabytes. So the entire application has to fit within that, including your entire, database caches and stuff. So it's very lightweight. So once you're logged in and going, we're only throwing a few bytes back and forth in order to run transactions.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I think we're excited to give this a try. And so, what's our next step? Have we done this demo? Have we tried this demo?
We would like the site to get.
Okay, so can you direct us as where to go, how we go about getting this?
Sure.
Getting our hands on the demo, and then we can take it from there.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, we could set up a special demo site for you with your data that's isolated to just you.
That'd be great.
Can you send us like an Excel spreadsheet of your data, of your current items? Do you have any? Yeah, why don't you send us an Excel spreadsheet of your items, and we'll import it for you, and then you can work with your data, and we can walk you through working with your data.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Well, we will get that done and send that off to you so that we could begin doing that.
Okay, great.
Okay, good. All right. Any other questions from anybody? Okay, cool. Okay, guys, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Yo, this thing. I don't see it there right now.
All right, I see it. Okay. Well, how will they, hold them?
I think that that's the answer that we need. That's going to solve our problems, right?